Hello everyone, and thank you for being here today. My name is Deem. I'm a senior at the University of Chicago, doing a double major in data science and economics, and now the rest of my team will introduce themselves.
Hey everyone.
Hi everyone. Gabe, I wasn't able to hear your audio, so there might be a microphone issue there. But my name is Evan Fantozzi. I'm a master's student at the School of Public Policy here at U Chicago, and I'm studying computational analysis and public policy.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. I am a senior as well, studying econ and data science at U Chicago.
Real quick
Gabe,
before
you
you all
want to
take it
try?
away, yeah, does Gabe want to check his mic again?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey guys, can everyone hear me now?
Yes.
I apologize about that. I'll redo the introduction. My name is Gabe. I'm also a senior double major in data science and econ, and I'm ready to share what we've been working.
And so, as we mentioned, we're students at the University of Chicago, and we're working with the nonprofit organization Mothers Out Front to build an interactive data tool that will help parents and advocates easily find environmental and policy information about their schools. And in our presentation today, we're going to introduce the organization, outline the problem, and explain how our project will offer a practical solution. Next slide, please. So, to begin, we want to share a bit more about the organization we've partnered with, Mothers Out Front. They're a national movement of parents and caregivers who focus on creating healthier, more sustainable communities for their children. What makes their approach unique is that they focus on creating local leaders by training and supporting moms so that they are capable of leading climate action right in their own neighborhoods. Next slide, please. However, even though Mothers Up Front already does very powerful community work, one of the main challenges they face is access to information. This is because data about schools spans multiple fields, including environmental factors, policy regulations, and economic or resource considerations, and it comes from a wide range of sources like federal, state, and district websites. So as a result, it's difficult for volunteers and parents to get clear, school specific answers to important questions like whether there's lead risk in drinking water or whether a school could qualify for an electric bus grant, for example. So our project addresses this challenge by creating a single accessible tool that consolidates this data and information from multiple domains and presents it in a way that's understandable to people from all different backgrounds. Ultimately, our goal is to make it easier and faster for our community members to move from searching for information to actually using it to take meaningful action. Next slide, please.
So for this tool, we're drawing from a wide range of data sources. You can see here they're kind of bucketed into two areas. One is for policy data, and that comes from mostly government sources. And then also we have a lot of environmental data. So as you mentioned, that ranges from things like having electric school buses to knowing about the opinion of people in that area about climate change and about citizens' role in taking action, as well as things like the number of LEED certified schools in a given area. So if we could move on to the next slide, we can see how those data sources are really incorporated into our tool. So thinking from who would be using our tool, that's mothers, that's caregivers, other activists, and people who care about their communities, they want to know, okay, so at my nearby me and where my child might go to school, how sustainable is this school? How healthy is this school? And also, what does that mean in terms of like where my school might compare to others nearby and across the country? And also thinking about, okay, what can we do to make this school healthier? And so where our tool comes in is at a very granular level. You see at the top of the triangle, it can offer very like specific granular details about, okay, here is what we know about electric school buses or what we know about tree canopy data or the water quality. And then taking one step kind of out and being a little more succinct, we can distill all that information down into what we have as two different scores when we call a green score, which is really just an idea of how healthy and sustainable a school is or a school district, and then also an actionability score. And so what we're looking at there is thinking about if if we know that there's room for improvement, but there's a lot of funding either through potential laws or programs in the state or through local, tax revenue, or even through what we would think as like potential for bringing in money through other parts of the school budget. That's where we would be able to improve on the actionability. And then the last piece of this, how our tool would work is a little bit more abstract and broader, but thinking about how to keep this tool updated, because having it be accurate is really important moving forward. And I'll speak to that in a little bit as well. Next slide, please.
Great, thanks, Evan. So I'll be covering one of the prototypes that we've built for this. So the backbone of this is an interactive map that allows you to click into different states or search by specific schools or districts. Again, we imagine the end user is either a concerned mother or somebody like them or an activist. So this tool would ideally approach both of those and make them get the information that they need to know. On the right, we also include a filter. So if you want to filter by, for example, schools with poor green scores, but then high actionability levels, which means that you can make big improvements, you can do that. So if we go on to the next slide, let's say, for example, you click on Ohio, you maybe are brought to a screen that looks like this. So on the left, you still have that interactive dashboard, so you can move around through that. And then on the right, you have an overview of Ohio specifically. So this is mostly opinion data, and it is aggregated. So it's originally collected at the county level, and then it's aggregated to the state. And then we also have green, yellow, and red colors to show what percentile each state is in compared to other states. So that way you're able to compare apples to apples. And I've highlighted here Columbus City School District because that is the school district and specifically a school within it that we're going to be looking at. So if we could go to the next slide and also the slide after that, just pointing it out here. So this is Trevitt Elementary School, a school that we have chosen to highlight in Columbus City School District. So again, the left will maintain a interactive dashboard, and on the right, we have an overview of the school. This contains district level data about opinions, and it also contains school level data about canopy coverage, so the amount of trees and the coverage that provides. We also have, as Evan was mentioning, our green score and our actionability score. And then if you go on to the next slide, this is the policies. So you can just click through these tabs on the right. And then this shows all of the policies which are collected at the state level. And it consists of programs and laws that affect funding decisions or anything related to climate incentives. And you also are able to filter by specific types. So that would be something like electric school buses or solar coverage. So you could see just those specific ones. If we go to the next slide, this presents the water data. So this is related to the public water system for Trevitt Elementary School. You can see the levels of lead, the copper, the population served, and then a flag that we have chosen to highlight. The most important factor is lead by quite a wide margin. So that is the biggest determinant of that risk category. And that is the dashboard. And we can go to the next slide.
Yeah, so just to wrap up, we wanted to highlight two things that we're thinking about moving forward. One is about data availability. So, of course, working with a wide range of data sets, not all of them are going to be as consistent in terms of what we're able to get out of them. Specifically, our electric school bus data, we only have that because that's aggregated from so many school districts. That's from the WRI, and it's that data is presented every 6 months, but unfortunately, there are limitations in what they're able to get. So we need to be careful about how we're communicating that information, specifically when we're distilling that down into our green and actionability scores, because there's room there for that to kind of disappear into what the users of our tool are seeing. And then lastly, we want to make sure that moving forward, we're able to keep our tool updated, like I mentioned before. So what that might mean is replacing static data sets that we get from a research project with something like a web scraper that we build ourselves, just to make sure that our tool really is trustworthy. And that's also, in summary, the tool that we have here is really about empowering mothers, empowering community advocates so that they have the information that they can then take to move forward with making their schools and school districts more healthy and sustainable and work towards a reality where every child can go to school in a healthy, climate safe school. Thanks.